You think the economy is finally getting better, but the truth is you are actually getting poorer every single day because you are playing a game where the rules were written by people who want your lunch money. 20% of the world oil flows through a waterway narrower than the drive you make to the grocery store, and right now that waterway is a war zone. Brent crude just ripped from the low 70s into the triple digits. Per barrel, and tankers are being seized while blockades are being reimposed. Before we dive into how this is going to wreck your bank account, I want you to do one thing for me right now. Stop what you are doing and comment your age and the exact amount you are currently investing every single month down in the comments below. Are you doing $50 a month or $5,000 a month? Be honest, because we are building a community of winners here, and transparency is the first step to escaping the rat race. If you do not have a plan, you are the plan for someone else to get rich. Let that sink in for a second while you type that comment. You see, a war halfway around the world should not touch your grocery bill until oil gets involved, and then it touches absolutely everything. Oil spikes, gasoline follows, and then shipping costs balloon. Every business that moves a physical thing, which is most businesses, passes that cost straight to you. Suddenly, you are paying more at the pump, more for eggs and more for plane tickets, but your paycheck has not moved an inch. That is a squeeze on the consumer that kills dreams. And then it gets worse because the Fed sees inflation reheating and they just shelf all the rate cuts everybody has been praying for. Rates stay higher for longer, mortgages stay expensive, businesses delay hiring, consumer spending wobbles, and we go from oil shock to inflation to sticky rates to slower growth and finally to a recession risk. We have watched this movie 3 times already. 1973 with the OPEC embargo led to a deep recession. 1979 with the Iranian Revolution led to another deep recession. 2008 with oil at $147 led to the economy rolling over. Oil shocks are often the match that lights the fuse at exactly the wrong time. But before you liquidate your portfolio and go bury cash in the backyard, just hear me out. Plenty of people think this is not going to tip us into a recession because America is now producing 13.5 million barrels a day domestically. We are not hostage to Middle East oil the way we used to be, but that does not mean you are safe. Markets are forward-looking, and a lot of risk is already baked into the prices of energy futures and stocks. The honest truth is that anyone telling you they know exactly what happens next is selling you something. You do not need to know if oil hits $160 or $80. That is a loser's game. Goldman Sachs cannot do it, and neither can you. What you can do is stop trying to be a macroeconomist and start being a disciplined investor. We do not sit in a flimsy tent and try to predict the weather. We build a brick house that can handle any storm. That means owning wonderful businesses bought at the right time when the prices are attractive. In an environment like 2026, Wonderful has 3 very specific traits. Trait number 1 is a fortress balance sheet. In a slowdown, weak balance sheets get exposed the way a low tide exposes the rocks. Companies drowning in debt cannot service it when the cash flow dips. You want piles of cash, you want debt that is small relative to free cash flow. Apple is the textbook example here. They have massive cash, and a recession does not threaten their existence. It only threatens their weaker competitors. Trait number 2 is a moat, a durable competitive advantage. A moat means the business can raise prices when costs rise and customers stay anyway. If Coca-Cola raises the price of a can by 10 cents because aluminum got expensive, you still buy it. That is pricing power. Trait number 3 is management you actually trust. A great CEO uses a downturn to buy back their stock for cheap and acquire weaker competitors for pennies on the dollar. This is the way you build real wealth. You do not chase the latest hype. You do not try to time the top. You focus on time in the market. If you are still driving that 2006 Toyota Corolla and living in a minimalist apartment while putting every extra dollar into VO or SHD, you are already winning. You are building a machine that pays you while you sleep. Most people are out here trying to get rich quick, but the fastest way to get rich is to get rich slow and never get poor again. The system is designed to keep you broke by making you want things you do not need with money. You do not have to impress people you do not even like. Break the cycle right now by deciding that you are a producer, not just a consumer. Stop watching the news every 5 minutes and start looking at your savings rate. If you are paying for 6 different streaming services while your Roth IRA is empty, you are failing. Move into a smaller place if you have to. Drive the old car until the wheels fall off. Put that money into assets that actually grow. You see, the legends like Warren Buffett are sitting on $397 billion in cash for a reason. They are waiting for the blood in the streets. They are waiting for the moment when everyone else is panicking so they can go shopping for elephants. You have an advantage because you are small. You can move much quicker than a giant fund. You can buy $100 of an index fund every week and nobody even notices. That is your superpower. Use it. If you start with $0 and invest $1,000 a month into a broad market index fund like VORI returning 10% annually in 30 years, you have over $2.2 million. That is the math of freedom, but most people will quit in year 2 because they wanted a new truck or a fancy watch. Do not be that person. Be the person who understands that $40 trillion in national debt is a ticking time bomb, and the only shelter is productive assets. Oil will do what oil does. The Fed will do what the Fed does. None of that is under your control. What is under your control is the quality of the businesses you own and the price you paid for them. Focus on the business and the price, not the noise. 2026 is going to be a year of massive transition and volatility. The wealth gap is widening, and you have to decide which side you want to be on: the side that pays interest, or the side that collects it, the side that works for money, or the side that has money working for them. I have seen thousands of investors fail because they tried to be too clever, they tried to outsmart the market. They tried to find the next big thing before it happened. The ones who succeed are the ones who are okay with being average, because being average in the S&P 500 means you are doing better than 90% of the people who are just sitting on their hands. Being average means you are capturing the growth of human innovation. Stop listening to the doom and gloom that tells you to hide under a rock. The news wants you scared because scared people are easy to sell to. Instead, be prepared. Have your rules. If the market drops 30% tomorrow, will you have the stomach to buy more, or will you hit the sell button in a panic? If you do not know the answer, you are not ready yet. Go back to the basics of dollar cost averaging. Automate your investments so the money leaves your account before you even have a chance to spend it. That is how you build a $120,000 portfolio starting from nothing. The path to financial freedom is not a straight line. It is a jagged and messy journey that tests your character. But when you reach the other side, you will realize that the money was just a byproduct of the person you became. You became someone who could delay gratification. You became someone who understood value. You became someone who was not swayed by a headline about Iran or the price of a barrel of oil. Keep your DCA active and keep your expenses low. The 2026 market might be a roller coaster, but you are the one holding the safety bar. Do not let go. The future belongs to those who prepare for it today. If you are tired of letting CNBC dictate your stress level, then it is time to take control. Own attractive businesses at wonderful prices. Focus on the long term. Every time you see a headline about a war or a crash, ask yourself one question: does this change the long-term value of the businesses I own? If the answer is no, then keep buying. If the answer is yes, then follow your rules and exit, but never make a decision based on fear. Fear is a high-cost loan that you can never pay back. We are entering a period where the smart money is going to separate itself from the emotional money. Be the smart money, be the patient money. Be the money that waits for the perfect pitch before swinging the bat. You have the tools and you have the knowledge. Now all you need is the discipline to execute the plan day after day, year after year. The wealth gap is not just about money. It is about a gap in mindset. It is a gap between those who look at a crisis and see an end and those who look at a crisis and see a beginning. I want you to be on the side that sees a beginning. I want you to be the one who looks back at 2026 and says, that was the year I secured my family legacy. It starts with the next dollar you invest. It starts with the next expense you cut. It starts with the next book you read about value investing. Do not let the chaos of the world distract you from your mission. Your mission is freedom. Your mission is to own your time. And time is the only currency that truly matters in the end. As you can see on the charts, every time we have had a vertical move in oil, we have had a horizontal move in the economy. But notice how the market always recovers and hits new all-time highs. The only people who truly lose are the ones who get shaken out at the bottom. Stay in the game, stay in the market. Stay focused on the prize. Most people are looking for a magic pill or a secret stock tip that will turn $100 into $1 million overnight. Those things do not exist. What exists is the compounding effect of 10% returns over 30 years. What exists is the power of owning a piece of every major company in America through vote. What exists is the peace of mind that comes from knowing you are prepared for whatever 2026 throws at you. If you found value in this breakdown, hit that like button and make sure you are subscribed, because we are going to be navigating this storm together every single week. No fluff, just the raw data you need to survive and thrive. Hit that subscribe button. Peace.